and gentlemen, welcome to Field 1 for this big battle between BC2 and Ontario 2 and under 16 men's. Taking a look at the lineups for BC2. Spencer Cooper, number 1. Number 2, Matt Calderon. Number 3, Dylan Cusker. Number 4, Callum Masterton. Number 5, Alex Headley. Number 6, Nate Price. Number 7, Jake Land. Number 8, Reese Daniels. Number 9, Jonas Robinson. Brayden Tate, number 10. Number 11, Kyle Clark. Number 12, Matt Fraser. 13, John Duganville. Number 14, Connor King. Number 15, Cameron Tom. Number 16, Carl Madison. Number 17, Carter White. Number 18, Nicky Moray. Number 19, Connor McGarry. Number 20, Matt Francoeur. 21, Brandon Schellenberger. 22, Ryan Hanley. 23, Seth Purdy. Number 24, Cheyenne Kovadenine. And number 25, Raphael Espeas. For Ontario 2, number 1, David Griffiths. Number 2, Brandon Douglas. Brayden Douglas. Number 3, Craig Daw. Number 4, Johnny Alenier. Number 5, Josh Gilchrist. Number 6, Bailey Taylor. Number 7, Dominic Louisa. Number 8, William Nader. Number 9, James Shaw. Number 10, Jared Walker. Number 11, Brady Avery. Number 12, John Gilkey. Number 13, Miles Donahue. Number 14, William Burton. Number 15, Noah Holmes. Number 15, Ryan 16, Ryan Sheriff. Number 17, Shane McCrindle. Number 18, Radford Neshi. Number 19, Alan Fleur. Number 20, Ryan Hutt. Number 21, Dylan Havelock. Number 22, Elliot McDermott. And 23, Matthew Hebert. Have a great game, guys.
Am I live, Piggy? Hello and welcome to Calgary Rugby Park. My name is Gareth Reese. I'm here on behalf of Rugby Canada as we bring you this match from the National Festival here with under 16 boys category. In the blue jerseys on the right of your screen we have BC2, and on the left in the red hooped jerseys it's Ontario 2. So still a good old battle of Ontario and BC, and lots of action for both these teams yesterday. The team in blue, BC, got a result they were happy with, but Ontario want to set a few things straight as they played their fellow provincial reps and lost pretty heavily. So they're going to set the record straight. It's Mr. Tate to start us off with a drop kick here. Under 16 boys, BC2 versus Ontario 2.
First up tackle by Ontario, contact by Ontario, and we're seeing the spin pass from James Shaw right now as he releases miss out pass to the inside center, Milkey. And they're making some inroads in the early going here, but knock on will stop it. Oh, forward pass it was from referee Andrew McMaster.
And Doug Cross joining me here in the booth. Doug, some players to watch for Ontario. I know we saw a first touch there from Miles Donahue, number 13 for Red. He's a force to be reckoned with. And also first pass from James Shaw, the scrum half. A really nice, tasty battle developing as you see the blue number 9 there, Jonas Robinson. He's the captain of this BC team, and they're going to have a good old duel, I think, Shaw and Robinson.
Are we seeing some offspring from one of your former national teammates? Nate Bice, Richard Bice comes to mind.
Yeah, there's they're littering in that pack. Bice, Cooper, and Robinson, and Tate in the halfback position. So lots of second generation guys getting it done. And it's the blind side for BC.
And that's a great job by Reese Daniels. He's gone up and found some headway there and got a good 6-7 meters. The first service from Jonas Robinson. He offloads right away to Dylan Cusker. He is stopped, but now that pile is moving forward just a little bit. Again, Robinson, now they're taking it wide.
Whoa!
That could be argued an intentional knock-on. He was given a good shot, so I don't think he was just trying to repeat play there. He was thinking pick 5.
Yeah, well, Ben Washer may have been watching some tape yesterday because BC went wide with a lot of success against the Black Spruce in their first game here at the festival, and he almost got that one picked off. That was the fly half, but it will be a knock-on scrum put into blue.
So this is a great position as a fly half. You used to lick your chops in this part of the field.
Yeah, they have
got a lot of territory to cover as defense structure suggests, but good chance for open play here.
Again, blindside the 8 pick. Yeah, it's something they've been working on. Too good. Don't argue. Straight arms from the number 8. That is Daniels again. He was immense yesterday. There's Tate.
Hopper there to fly half. Brayden Tate. Yeah.
Tate looking smartly, keeps that one close and regroups for his team.
That's to Fraser. Now out to Jubenville. Ontario's gotten away with it. No, they've stolen that as a breakdown. tough tackles being made by BC. Oh, and that's a dump tackle, and they're going to deal with that, and that could be a yellow card.
I'll be disappointing at this stage, Doug. He didn't put him on his head. It was an awkward tackle, there's no question. Let's hope that referee McMaster reconsiders going to his pocket here.
Often when they bring out two players, he is going to his pocket, and it is going to be a yellow. And so being shown the door.
That's Jubenville.
Jubenville made that tackle, so BC will be short. One man for 10 minutes.
Well, early advantage to Ontario. They deserved it, though. Really good defense from them, great communication, and they got the turnover. So this Ontario 2 team, Eastern Ontario based, a good clearing kick from their fly half. Great to see them here. The second year that Ontario set up this way, that all the teams eastern part of the province have played together, all the way from Napanee, Doug, I'm told, all the way up to Rockland, so including Kingston and Ottawa. So really good to see these athletes together and representing Ontario at the National Festival.
Yeah, you gotta, even though you're a big province, you can still get that team feel going on by doing what they've done, because now training's a little more manageable. 2-hour drive instead of a 5-hour drive to a weekend training session. Doyle's for the throw-in, but it's missed the target. Gone BC side. Remember, they're playing short-handed now, and that's some good running by Taylor.
Now that actually is Bice. He's cleaned up the back of the line out. He had 2 very good runs early on yesterday. Looks like he's wrapped up. Yeah, no advantage coming. So we'll be coming back for the knock-on. Dougie, interesting that BC chose to compete at the line out. They had 2 pods up, and they actually put some pressure on the Ontario with the line out and got possession there.
Well, they're not short-handed in the line in the forwards, which is one good thing. You can always, I think, make do a little better short-handed in the back line. Would that be a fair argument?
Well, that's what they've done. They pulled a flanker out because they're 1 short. Their center was sent off, and now you see Tate and the others coaching them where to stand, what to do. A little bit of reorganization in the backfield off to the right of your screen.
So they don't want to lose that attacker. Yeah. They feel like a flanker is something you can manage without.
So good refereeing.
Matching numbers up.
Yeah, that's the law at this stage, great, that you must match numbers. So because BC only put 6 in, they've evened it up. And McMaster asked him to come out of the number 8 hole to go on the flank. That's for stability. So
when Nathan Steckel, the number 8 for Ontario, has dropped back into the back line. So these guys are going to start, feeling pretty big about themselves running in the backs. And it'll become a habit, like we used to see Rod Snow hang out with the wingers.
Ooh, that's a sloppy scrum.
Penalty against Ontario, pulling that scrum down.
Wow, interesting call. He must have felt that the far side prop there, that's Griffith for Ontario, had some intent. Looked to me a little bit sloppy, really. They just weren't used to maybe having the number 8 in the hole, but there we go. It will give Tate a chance to get some territory. And crucially, Doug, at this stage, when you've got a man in the sin bin, slow the game up, allow some time to run off that 10-minute penalty that he'll be serving.
Now, you're alluding to Tate being offspring. Is that Doug Tate's?
Doug Tate, the former National Sevens coach, a great player himself for the UBC Old Boys, and now head of the University of Victoria. So part of the CW program that's produced a lot of great players.
Here's the lineout. Matt Calderon getting that in. Good service from the lineout. Straight hands down the line.
There's numbers over.
Yeah. Weiss doing well in attack. No, that was Jake Land doing well as the linking flanker in that back line.
Yeah, Cameron Tom just couldn't get that last pass away. You see the ball there on your screen. Both.
McMaster can.
Yeah.
The other team can.
Both sets of players a little too honest and to maybe use a hand to get that back. But a wide attack that showed a little bit of promise for BC. It was the feature of their game yesterday where they had pretty much the run of the mill, putting 80 points up against the Spruce.
Through the opening 6 minutes, we haven't seen any attack on either try line here. It's just sort of stayed in this area inside Ontario half, but no big inroads made.
Yeah. Again, McMaster's asked the flanker to move from the number 8 hole, which is it's going to be difficult for the scrum half to clean this up. So we'll see if we can get a clean channel with no number 8 there. It is, yeah. There it is.
That was the one hopper into the hands of Braden Tate. And they're trying to.
There's a good ball.
Oh, and a nice shoulder down, staying on his feet. That's the fullback, Cameron Tom. They're at the 22 now. Some go forward from BC2 here.
The carrying pod with Cooper standing off. They're organized. He gets a couple of yards. They need quick ball here. And again, Ontario have done well to slow it up.
Robinson digging it out with his foot. And now that's number 8, Reese Daniels. He's tied up immediately.
Ontario very organized in defense. These blue jerseys looking at lots of red ones. And there's a spilled ball. This could be a kick and chase opportunity.
That's cleaned up well by Kyle Clark. Now he's trying to turn the corner, and he'll go to ground thinking he was about to get walloped. And now he's putting the pass out for Jonas Robinson, and Braden Tate getting it right down the line. And
oh, he's got free.
Good job getting the release pass to Connor King. Now will he go on clean heels? He's wrapped up in one jersey, stays on his feet. Now he goes to ground inside the 22.
He looked for the offload, but it wasn't quite tight enough. They're working the short side, trying to stretch that Ontario defense.
Calderon, the hooker, taking that into contact.
Good pattern here. That's Bice again with his hands on the ball. He's ghosted right to the hole.
Nate Bice, big touch of the ball, found the lane, and scores on clean heels.
Well, yesterday he won the coveted hard hat for his graft and his work in the tight, but there he showed a turn of heels. He got through the hole deceptively quick. Must be from his mother's side. Fantastic break from Nathan Bice, the Shawinigan Lake School product.
I hope Richard's not on the ground to hear that one. You're on your own to defend that.
But good recognition from him. The Ontario defense has been pretty resolute so far, but just a missed assignment there as the red player was slow to getting over.
And keep in mind, that's BC2 with a man in the bin scoring like that. So that's going to be troubling for Ontario.
Dougie, check out this kicking style. I love it. It's unique. Kyle Clark, he has his own way of approaching the ball. Yeah, he's a beautiful striker of the ball, and he's got this. He's pulled that one out, and he got it through, but he turns his back on the ball, a bit like Thomas Castagnette for France in the day. But nice to see him carving his own pathway through the place kicking world.
Yeah, he sets the ball up like a Super Bowl trophy there and kicks it from the front side.
Right, so an element of relief there from BC2, I think, with the man in the bin. They were on the back foot, but Bice's break gets them the lead. Just 10 minutes played here.
Ben Washer will get us started here for Ontario. Well, why do you fly halves always go over the line when you do the restart? Always take that extra look. See, it was over the line.
It's making it easier. There's Bice again.
I feel like Bice could have a big afternoon. He's got a lot of pace and he knows where the gaps are. Look at that go forward by BC2. Staying on their feet for long stretches there, and now it'll be Robinson getting long service out to his fly half Tate. Drop ball midfield, and now we're coming back for the penalty.
Referee saying that the red jerseys weren't rolling away at the tackle area and they slowed up the ball. But good strong running again from the forwards, and I think that was Alex Headley had a good ramble there and dragged the red jerseys in, so well done from him. And again, Tate will control things. Good game management. Just setting time, take off the clock, and you can see just below the stand where we are, Dougie, here, that Jubenville is on his feet, just doing his last bit of warm-up, ready, almost finished serving that 10-minute sin bin penalty.
So yeah, here's Jubenville doing his calisthenics, so he doesn't
always
a hammy going back in.
Interesting time. You feel guilty you've let the boys down. You've been in the sin bin, but you want to get out there and make a difference. So they'll be able to go back to their normal alignments.
In this instance, they scored a try while he was sitting down, so no guilt complex there. It's great stuff from Tate now. Maybe he's got to take some pepper off those passes. They seem to be going loose with the...
Oh, beautiful step.
That is great stuff from Kyle Clark. Ontario catches up to
him. He did get turned at the last minute, though. Good work.
Big number 4 lying
from
on
Johnny.
For Ontario, and I think there'll be a penalty coming from McMaster if BC doesn't get at least 10 meters off of this run. You'll see that come back. Chip over the top, and I think McMaster may be coming back. No, I think the advantage is now over. No, he is coming all the way back from that. There's an Ontario player lying on the ball, number 4, Allian. Johnny Allian was sealing that ball off.
Yeah, I thought he did well. It's a quick tap from Robinson, trying to catch him sleeping, and he hits his prop. That's Cusker.
5 meters out. And the pick and drive from Cooper. He is turning stolen ball now. Attack opportunity for Ontario from the hooker Doyles.
Ooh.
Short offload. BC there to absorb that pressure. James Shaw getting that back to his fly half Washer, and he tumbles it down.
Yeah, and you mentioned James Shaw, the Ontario scrum half there, the younger brother of John Shaw, who was playing, well, just last week out in the Canadian Rugby Championships under 19s out of Newfoundland, but also represented Canada under 18 level over in Romania last year. So good pedigree in the Shaw family. He's a scrum half trying to get his pack moving forward here in Ontario too.
See if Calderon can get this in straight and provide a good platform for BC too, as now we're at equal numbers, and he may have just arrived a little late with flanker Jake Land. All of a sudden realized he was no longer needed in the back line.
The overlap's there.
Now. That's the fullback, Tom. He's off.
Wow.
He's staying with it. He won't score, but he has gotten them to the 5-meter line.
I don't know if he tackled himself there, Dougie, but it looks like quick balls come. They're lining up to run it in, and it's the hooker.
Yeah.
Calderon has it knocked loose, but knocked backward. A lot of
Cusker pushed back.
A lot of blue jerseys committed at the breakdown. Now they're starting to regroup. Slower ball, the pick and go option. Just meters from the line.
Might see the spin in a moment. Yeah, going down the back line from Robinson. There you go. At the line, and it's the fullback, Cameron Tom. Scoring the try. Good bit of work him jumping across the line.
Yeah, Tom finishing what he started a few moments earlier on the big long break. I think he may have tripped up himself. The boys will have a laugh on the video because he looked like he was free and gone, but he made up for it. And good play from Tate there. Just the quick hands, recognizing that the Ontario defense wasn't organized. Just the catch and give. Braden Tate providing in his role at fly half.
Cameron Tom.
And that'll give us a chance to look at Kyle Clark and his unique kicking technique again. And there it is through the middle. And good work from our...
By Kyle Clark is good. And it's BC 14 and Ontario 2-0.
Well, there you see, good work from our ball boys getting that ball back in play. We got, and girls, we got great volunteers here in Calgary making this thing run smoothly. And I got to say, Dougie, it's a lot different from years ago when we used to come to the festival. It's a really professionally run event, and it's great to see. You can see the top of your screen some of the Quebec women rolling into the stadium, looking like real pros. And it's a good opportunity for the athletes to get out and play some good rugby.
Yeah, and I mean, having guys like you here at the tournament really helps too, and great to have your perspective. And now, I don't want to take you too deep into history, but you didn't have a national festival back.
Oh, yes, we did. It was under 19 boys when I was playing, and then they added 17. So happy to say BC beat Ontario in the final every time I played.
I think I saw a tape of that. That wasn't
Was it Betamax? Yeah. Anyways, it's Ontario restarted, but BC in possession again. They'll be happy with their last 5 minutes of play, BC. There's that pattern that's developed, although a crushing tackle from Ontario. What a response. As the ball carrier, Calderon, was met unceremoniously. And that's Josh Gilchrist there with a big, big hit. And that's a great statement, Dougie. When you're down a couple of tries early on, 14-0, sometimes you need a lift, and it can come from anywhere, and that kind of hit can sometimes give your team just what they need.
Now, is this are these 40-minute games?
30-minute halves at this stage,
so
yeah.
1 hour,
Yeah.
You do have the other games that are 40 minutes total. So Ontario has not been in the BC end to speak of, and they really need to start stealing this ball at the breakdown. But here's BC with another clean possession, pick and drive from Spencer Cooper.
Well, I think the message has gone out that let's tie these Ontario players in before we go wide. And they're finding some holes on the fringes just like we saw there.
A lot of people might think random things are happening out there, but there is game plans that do net
Yeah.
results.
A bit of a high tackle there, but it gets him down. That's Ben Washer. Robinson having a look. Dealt with by Washer.
We did have a player named Dreyer in the lineup, but the Washer-Dreyer combo wasn't working.
It's only get on top of each other, have a stacker. Good hard yards again on the fringes. That Ontario player not moving away. And he has been penalized there, and the referee's going to have I hope he doesn't go for a card here. It's just an awkward play by that Ontario defender. Just got on the wrong side, didn't quite know what to do. So let's hope McMaster manages the situation. Good work from him, talking to the captain.
So that's their free one. And
Yeah.
if they do it again, that'll be a team card.
And I really think, Doug, it's important there. That's not cynical play. He's not a professional who's trying to play the edge of the law. He just fell over. I think it may have been Josh Gilchrist there. Just fell over. Didn't know quite what to do to get out of the way. So he shouldn't be in the bin for something like that.
I cringe when I hear people say that in age grade terms. That's a professional foul.
Yeah.
There isn't any pros on this field. They didn't even know what they did was necessarily. They knew it was wrong, but they're not, trying to win the championship for their French club or something. They're just hanging out for the province.
And credit Andrew McMaster. You saw him instinctively go to his pocket because in men's senior rugby or elite rugby, that would have been a sin bin offense. But he managed it and spoke to the players. That's what we're looking for from our Canadian referees. It's a big work on for a lot of them.
Calderon with the throw in. He's hanging up there for ages. His target, number 4, Callum Masterton. Ball's coming out BC side, but not without a lot of pressure from Ontario. And now finally the fly half, Braden Tate, goes in and takes his lumps, and they'll get that ball out by Robinson.
Oh, another little gap there, and the handoff straight to the face.
Jake Land is looking pretty useful. See, he's played with the backs. Now he thinks he can hang out with a Matt Fraser.
Well,
takes it into contact. Finally,
having
the knock on a forward pass from BC there.
Yeah, well, having done the great work with the big handoff, and don't argue, he really was guilty of not offloading earlier. He had support on his right shoulder, and he went into that last contact situation and tried the out the back door, which was not the right option. So Ontario 2 dodges a bullet, and good attacking opportunity from them, even though they're in their own end.
Last week at National Women's League game, 5 yellow cards in the first half.
Yeah.
One team, 2 to the other, and that was a bit unwatchable.
Players have just got to manage themselves, but some of them are new to the game. Oh, good option. He's decided that the blind side was there. But
they're running by Burton over on that side.
Quickly snuffed out. Just to give you an example, I know the BC boys have been playing their regional rugby out west because of the weather, playing for their Fraser Valley, Vancouver, and the island all out there. But in Ontario, they've only had really 5 or 6 games, a couple against Quebec. They had 1 English touring side, but these players haven't had a lot of rugby to this point, so they're still really getting used to the contact area in particular, how to keep their feet.
Full credit to the parents. Some people got to understand the big commitment that families make to these players to get here. It isn't cheap. It's pay to play, and then they do something what's called cost sharing. So, Alberta players are paying way more than they would without, they're basically absorbing travel costs, cost averaging for players coming from the Atlantic and across the country.
And that's why it's important to give them a quality experience. There's lots of families here who have made the travel from BC and Ontario, so that's good to see as well. The players have a bit of support here. I know the BC team is going back to do yoga in their hotel yesterday afternoon. I don't know if the old guard would have done that, but there they are.
I can't picture Uriel going for a good downward dog in the hot studio. How about a hot dog and a cold beer,
Yeah.
maybe, I can believe.
Oh.
Stepping through a tackle, staying on his feet. That's a great job by Connor King.
Oh, he's put it on the ground, and Bice has picked it up. He's only centimeters short of the line.
Pick and drive now is held up. Master right there looking for it, and it is held up.
I think that might have been Cooper having a look at the line, but the red jerseys did well to get underneath him. And it was Spencer Cooper, son of Ian. Just couldn't get it down there. Good leg drive from him.
So this
And
is a big opportunity here for BC because, first of all, they'll have that Ontario pack just hemmed in. So maybe a drop shoulder on the left side of the scrum to try and wheel them right out of the picture. And a number 8 pick going to the right. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, we have seen a couple of quick picks from Rhys Daniels. So good Welsh name. Let's see if we can get a good Mervyn Davis type try. And there he goes.
They didn't do the wheel, but he is wrapped up as a result. The back rows were there waiting for him. Robinson. Cooper now. Cooper across the line. As he managed to touch it down. No, it's before the line. Now that's Cusker across the line. And now back to Cooper. So they're just going laterally up and down that line, but not crossing the whitewash. Held up again, so great job by Ontario to repel that BC attack.
Yeah, and great job by McMaster. The referee was in goal. He had a good view of it. But yeah, full credit to the Ontario players. Showing a lot of pride in that, defending that line. Big men running at them. Cooper, Cusker, all being stopped just inches short.
8.5 8.5 minutes left in this first truncated half. 30-minute halves here.
There's a one-on-one situation with Kyle Clark on the bottom of your screen, but Ontario is starting to read this now. Daniels was met immediately as he picked up from the number 8 position.
Yeah, he's telegraphing a little bit his intentions, I think, and now driving his second row, Alex Headley.
You see the backs that switch sides that come to attack left side. Now the backs are split. Really good defense from Ontario. Give him full credit here.
Spinning it right now. That's the offload to the inside center, Fraser. Flat attack by BC. They're not coming in at pace.
And credit the line speed of Ontario. They really attacked that. They were shorter numbers, and they got pressure. Tate went to the line, and he couldn't get it off to his midfield. Any space. Robinson having a little bit of a word with the ref. There's some frustration, I think, from the BC players.
I think it's important that Ontario does not let any score, penalty, or otherwise happen in this trip down. And then I think they need to start kicking that ball because they're just playing way too much in their own end.
Yeah, you look back on a tight game like this, and although it's 14-0 at the moment, if Ontario were to hold off this big pressure, this would really put them in a good frame of mind turning in the second half.
Oh, that's a knock, I think, coming out of there, yeah.
Well, there you have it, Doug. There's the opportunity to kick and clear the lines. BC with 4 scrums within 15 meters of that Ontario line and not able to get it done.
So you see Ben Washer will be set up deep. He's got his heels back against the dead ball line. He wants as much space as possible to get this clearance kick. The back row of Jake Land, Nate Bice, and Reese Daniels will be doing everything they can to get to this ball. And they got to be careful not to break early.
Solid scrum. Robinson looking to put pressure on the pass. Shaw, he does get a hand on Shaw as he tries to flip it out.
Oh, trouble time, and that was taken over by Ontario, so it'll be a 5-meter scrum to BC. So they've made some lemonade out of those lemons, and they'll be happy with that result.
Yeah, and wisely, Ben Washer, who was set to kick, I think it was Ben Washer, came up and cleaned up that ball. He got crunched for his troubles there, but he stopped BC from scoring. But as he said, if we had a replay, you'd see Robinson just sneaking up the side. He's a little man, unlike his father, and he just got the one hand as he was passing, and that was enough to jar the ball loose. So smart play from him and puts BC back on the attack.
Hang on, all of a sudden, did the mental math.
Now
your nephew, isn't it?
This is the pass. Look, 2 hands. Finally, BC goes over in the corner.
I want to say it was
Connor King, yep. So showing the number 8 pick again, but then the ball was released to the scrum half, who hit King on the wing. So good deception, and finally BC gets over with only 5 minutes left in the second half. That's what's great, Dougie, about this level is the now that we're at rep rugby, that you're actually not just trying to form scrums and run plays, you're actually playing tactics, and you're actually seeing what the defense does and where your options are. And we recognize that Daniels have been stopped on the blind side, so they changed their tactic. And now we're getting this next level of thinking in their rugby development. And BC did well to go 8-9 and hit the blind side winger. Smart rugby. Good strike. Good line. There it is. What a beautiful kick from the far touchline, which is the incorrect touchline for him. Great strike from Kyle Clark to keep the pressure on Ontario. So I think they'll look at the scoreboard, Ontario, and be pretty disappointed. Down at the moment, they need something before the half to get back in the game. We haven't seen much of Miles Donahue in the midfield we were looking forward to. And also Bailey Taylor, number 6. See if he can get a big tackle or get his hands on the ball, because Ontario really haven't had much possession this first half.
So, Gareth, Jonas Robinson, with the family connection there, you give him a lot of coaching, or do you stay away from him?
None. That's why he's so good.
Alex Headley taking that up. Full head of steam there. Great job by the BC second row.
That isn't the tackling Ontario looking for. Headley ran through 2 or 3 arms.
That was Tate taking that one into contact. No, he's back waiting for the first pass from.
Yeah, that slow ball again. That second pod for BC is very deep. Tate chooses to go wide. Good hands. Can they move it? No, tied up in the middle.
Dangerous stuff nearly for John Jubinville. now the
I
whistle
wonder what
time
this is
off
for.
and card coming out. Things getting a little spicy down there.
Wow.
And that's number 13 for Ontario, Miles Donahue, who's going to cool
Yeah, you
his
can see
heels.
the frustration on as he comes off the field, and he made a good tackle. It looked like he might have the player in a dangerous position. He put him down fairly, and I don't know what the yellow card's for. And Tate's gone to the top of your screen. He's gone with a quick tap. There were numbers there.
Chip and chased by BC, and look at the pace of Land.
Oh.
I mean, he is just a flyer there, Jake Land, flanker spot, and he's probably faster than some of his wingers out there.
Yeah, interesting. He chose to try and pick that ball up on the fly. He had lots of support. Probably be better advised to stop and secure possession, but BC showing they're ready to go from anywhere. Good recognition there, but again, got to be complete frustration for a player at this age grade to be sin-binned for what he did there.
Yeah, if it is for a dump tackle, he was put down before any kind of upside down activity took place. But we may learn
for those parents and fans new to rugby, the sin bin is our equivalent of the penalty box. It's 10 minutes for an infraction that's deemed dangerous or repetitive, and it gives a one-person advantage for 10 minutes of the match. So a huge stats on how many points are scored against you when you have one and off the field.
Wow, this is good stuff by the outside center, Jubinville. And interesting, some players unaware that the time against them doesn't start until they sit down.
Well, that's a sevens rule, actually. Yeah, but
I think they're applying it here too. In sevens, it makes sense because it's only a 2-minute bin. But you see players just legging it out like the starter's gun has gone.
Yeah.
Because they want to serve their time.
Once again, BC had a numbers advantage there, but credit to Braden Tabry on defense there. He actually rushed the line and then came back and actually forced the BC player to make a secondary decision, and they weren't able to execute at the hands.
So opportunity here for BC to put a big push on, try and steal this ball against the head from Ontario.
Well, there's room on the near side. The winger's back for BC, way back. So Tabry could have a run. They've gone with the pass, the bounce pass. The kick into space. This could be dangerous. Oh!
Off Clark's hands and into touch, and he'll be angry. He should have fielded that cleanly.
Yeah, and Washer will say, I meant to do that. So we got the territory and possession. So a good bounce from him. Relatively hard ground zero, although the pitches are in fantastic shape here at Calgary Rugby Park. Credit to the grounds crew.
Braden Doyles is going to have the throw in here. Extra attackers in the Ontario line. So BC's dropped out a couple of their guys to match up numbers-wise.
You have to think, Dougie, with a minute left, this has got to be Ontario. They've got to strike somewhere. Even though they're a man short, they've got to make something happen.
And a miscue on the jump, and BC hands have gotten to it. No knock-on call. Maybe there was a knock-on. He's saying taken in by BC and didn't get it back in time.
Maybe he's saying that it did go to ground. It'll be a BC put in at the scrum. So the basics eluding Ontario. Couldn't secure possession at the line out. Robinson's made a call with his back row. Now, this time Ontario one short. So let's see if Tate, he's called his play for the backfield, but they recognize they are one short in the midfield backs because of the sin bin.
Yeah, you'd want to just put all kinds of traffic right at that gap in the 12-13 or 10-12.
Yeah, too much ground to cover for those three players out there.
Not coming up now. One hopper by Jonas.
Yeah, Shaw returns the favor and grabs a hand, but there's a hint of an overlap.
Argument could be made for crossing. There steps inside his fullback, but no one really there on offer to tackle, so maybe that's why the call wasn't coming.
Slow to realign again. Really deep. That pod is really deep for BC.
Spencer Cooper ball loose now. Advantage being played for the knock-on. That was off an Ontario player. And advantage over as we see Connor King working off his off wing and looking for work. That's good stuff by BC.
Good pass. Under pressure. There's three of them. Oh, that ball's got to go. It's got to go.
Kyle Clark, maybe a forward pass there. Yeah, just off kilter. And that is going to be halftime. 30 minutes reached here in this first half. And BC putting on a good display, but it wasn't like Ontario was shocking. Just BC was just constantly parked the Ontario end.
Yeah, just like that last play there. BC doing 90% of the good work, but sometimes the last pass not going to hand. And Ontario have showing some really resolute defense, but not able to get anything going on attack, not able to secure their own possession off lineouts, and a few heads down as they walk across to their huddle.
So we're going to take a quick break here and be back in about 5 minutes. You're watching National Festival Rugby. Gareth Reese and Doug Cross bringing you more action in the second half with BC leading 21-0 over Ontario. It's BC 2 and Ontario 2.
Well, welcome back to Calgary Rugby Park here as we have BC 2 and the blue jerseys on the left, playing from left to right on your screens, and Ontario red. And just a chance to reflect on Ontario rugby and all the great work that's going on. Danny Leeson, who's here with the head coach of the under-18s, Mike Donaldson, and lots like him, really ramping up this program. There's so many kids playing. There's 430 high schools playing in Ontario and 25,000 players. So really under the leadership of Glenn Tarver of many years ago, they're building this program. And here we have a great opportunity for Ontario 2, which is largely Eastern Ontario-based players from the Ottawa area, but not just Ottawa. I know Coach Sam Ferris and his team are very keen to get players from right across the region, and they do have team players from Kingston, Brockville, and all the way from Napanee to Rockland. So good stuff for Ontario, although the game is not going their way here. Let's see if they can get back into this one, Doug Cross.
Yeah, they need to answer with first points in the second half if they want to get back into this game. And part of that is going to be retaining possession and kicking, once they've secured that possession, kicking positionally in behind the 22 and forcing some errors on that BC2 back three.
And the wind has died down a bit here. It was a bit stronger yesterday. But Washer will be getting it underway with Mr. McMaster in the middle on the whistle.
Nice high restart. BC letting that ball bounce. That was Jake Land trying to get it, but now they've got it in clean hands. And happy to counter, just run from
Whoa.
their own end behind the 22 there. Good stuff. Showing their intent. They don't need to kick the possession away.
That was a substitute, Nicky Moray.
Brandon Schellenberger's out there as well, number 21. Secured ball by BC2, and now the runner's coming in hard. Number 17, Carter White, just leveled a would-be Ontario tackler with his forward momentum. And 18, Nicky Moray now transferring that ball out wide. And look at the foot race going on the outside from 22, Ryan Hanley.
Yeah, and great work from Ontario in defense. That was William Burton.
Connor King has been impressive in this game, just always looking for work. We're in the number 14 and getting that down the line is Moray now, and they have a chance.
Oh.
That might be a try for Land. It will be. The flanker, Jake Land, getting it done.
Yeah, different look for BC, but same result. Braden Tate moved up to scrum half, and a good quick ball with Moray shipping it immediately and directing traffic. And Land saw the gap. It was just too much, too big a stretch for the Ontario defenders to cover. So normal service resumed as far as BC is concerned, with a few new faces on the field. Yeah, we can see out there Ryan Hanley, Seth Purdy's out there. We said Moray in at 10. And goal kicking now will be Matt Fraser to try the extra 2 points. Also got big Carl Madison on the field. Fraser, the hands on knees, I'm exhausted approach. Gives it a good kick, but right across the front. So some work to do there.
26-0 for British Columbia, 2 over Ontario.
We said Nicholas Moray's come in at 10. Yesterday in the game, he was substituted pretty late on and made a mercurial run through the New Brunswick Spruce defense. He just carved him up as if to say, hey, coach, you should have started me. I could have been doing this all game. But a fantastic statement from the Shawnigan Lake School product.
Ben Washer getting the restart. High floating offering 24 for BC picking up Cheyenne Colbin Denny.
There's Bice again, attracting Ontario defenders. Good clean out. There he goes.
Wow, look at that.
Let's see what he got off the right foot. Well defended by the Ontario fullback.
Just what you were talking about. Moray is going, hey, watch me, guys.
Yeah, Noah Hone doing well to keep him out. Good offload.
Hanley shakes off a tackler and will take it right under the posts. Well, he'll stop just shy, but good job from the offload there. Hanley taking it in on relatively clean heels after the attempt.
Yeah.
Tackle.
Connor King it was, who stepped off his right foot, got in between the two defenders, and then something these players are coached, keeping their hands free so they can make that offload pass, and he made the one-handed offload. So Connor King, the provider on that occasion.
BC try by number 22, Ryan Hanley.
So pretty much a coach's dream as this second half has opened up, a 31-point lead. So coach able to get extra players on the field. We are in a tournament festival format here, so these players will be playing right through till Saturday, although they have the day off on Friday. So everyone's getting a run just as they did yesterday in their big victory over New Brunswick. There we go, a better strike from Matt Fraser. The stadium announcers got it wrong. I don't know who that guy is. But it's all BC. Ontario just really haven't had possession. I know if we were working in one of the big studios, we'd have a possession stat up. Not quite our technical abilities yet, Dougie, but it would be all BC. It would be all Navy Blue at the moment.
Speaking of Matt King, he was on doing play-by-play on Rogers TV a couple weeks ago in Ontario.
Well, another great product of the Ontario system.
Ball goes to ground, and Cheyenne Kobadene is going to try and get it now. It's off to the number 8, Reese Daniels.
He lost that one. But actually, maybe he didn't. There was an Ontario player coming in the side. Quick tap from Tate, and off we go again. It's relentless here.
I think the Ontario wheels are a little wobbly on the cart now.
There's Cooper as he's done all day. Carried the mail, attracted the defenders, and that's what causes the disruption when it goes wide. Perhaps a little selfish there from the try-scorer Lan. Yeah. Although Ontario penalized for being offside at the ruck. Perhaps a bit harsh at this stage, as it was the player's decision that initiated the contact. It wasn't because they were offside.
Now off to 16, Carl Madison. He makes it to the 22-meter line.
Change of direction. Moray goes blind. He's got numbers lining up. The big man goes right through the hole. Oh, what a beautiful handoff and a beautiful try from Kobadane.
Cheyenne Kobadane.
Wow, it looked like the Ontario defenders might have had him wrapped up, but he changed his pace, he changed his angle of run, and then as the final trailing defender came across, he gave him the big hand in the chest.
British Columbia try from number 24, Cheyenne Kobadane.
Well, Dougie, I know this BC2 team, they are technically the second choice players. BC1 is playing across the way. And I think these players trying to make a bit of a statement that maybe they should have been in the first team. And also as a group, I think they have a good feeling, and they were talking about, they will get to go head-to-head with their provincial teammates, 1 versus 2.
It's great how many teams BC and Ontario have brought at the different levels. Just, and I don't want to say making up the numbers, there's just that much talent that you need to bring them to give them a run out at the National Festival level.
So tough times, a little bit of an extra long huddle. There's not much you can say when you've been under the post for the 6th time in the day. But they've got heart. Wind picking up a little bit here in the face of Ontario just to add to their misery. You can get some height on this kick, Washer, so that red players can get underneath it. Now he's chosen to go long again, and that gives possession right back, and it is the try score.
Oh, and how do you do by Cheyenne Kobadane?
Great technique. Again, Ontario creeping offside, just trying anything to stop the BC onslaught.
Braden Tate lost his footing, but now he's back up. BC players back up, Tate back. First receiver. Oh, that's Moray 18. So yeah, Tate staying on his feet there now.
Cooper again, the man from St. George's.
Look at the overlap BC's organizing.
He's trying to get that ball back with his hand, and he does. Well, there was some question whether Murray will be picked because of his size, but good on the BC coaching staff for sticking with him and showing that anyone can play at this level. But it will be a rare opportunity for Ontario. Possession in BC half after the penalty.
The penalty doesn't help them here, so I think they're definitely thinking kick it to the corner and let's organize
Yeah.
drive off the line out here.
Although given the state of their lineout so far, I'm not sure it might be a better option to tap and go here. And it is. Great decision from them. Inside ball.
Pass,
Yeah.
Craig Daw. I don't know if that's in the playbook.
But finally some go forward for Ontario. But the counter ruck comes from BC. McMaster not helping them.
And it just swarmed by blue jerseys.
Comes out the side.
It's quickly picked up by number 8, Quinn Nadone Steckel.
The inside ball, not quite ready for it. That was.
Doyle's brought down.
We do have a man down in the middle of the field. And the referees penalized BC for being offside at the breakdown. So they've tapped and gone. That's good. The player won't be involved in the play. The wide ball was on. Oh, immediately wrapped up was Tabry.
Yeah, he managed to get the offload pass, but not much happening there. Knock on by Ontario.
And there's a trail of Ontario players getting treatment across the field. There's one on the left of your screen.
Yeah.
And that is Josh Gilchrist, who's been down for a little bit here.
BC player on his back as well.
These players going at it. And great medical support, as we'd expect.
It is not two-hand touch, parents, but got the folks in place to look after the boys if there is an injury.
And worth talking about, Doug, this is a part of the pathway for national teams. I mean, obviously, Rugby Canada is attending World Cups, as we saw our women with a big win over Samoa yesterday on the women's 15 side. And the men's 15 side, a tough summer, but preparing for the World Cup in England. And both our sevens teams are looking towards Rio in 2016 with your hometown Toronto hosting a big event at the Pan Am Games.
So both Ontario players are up, and talking about our Canadian women, 2 big wins.
Yeah.
I've never seen such a depressed-looking bunch of people, though. As soon as Ireland had the rare defeat against New Zealand, it's kind of scuppered any hopes for Canada getting through. They must win against England.
Yeah, and that's something I think the girls will back themselves to do, and Coach Francois Ratte and Megan Howe will get them ready for that. But normally you'd think if New Zealand had stayed to form, they'd be in good shape. But great coverage on TSN for any of our listeners out there. You want to go follow that. They've been showing some great images from the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, we were in the restaurant this morning, and the highlights were on TSN Sports Desk, and that's a tribute to everyone getting excited, Canadian teams winning overseas. And so 2 bonus point victories, you should be cheering instead of like, oh, jeez, now we have to beat England. But
And you could see that from the buffet, Dougie?
Kettle calling.
Yeah. All right, back to the action. One more sub for BC. Another set of fresh legs in there.
And the over 55 healthy choice breakfast.
I think that was Espoja who went in. Oh, free kick against BC for not putting the ball in as per the referee's wishes. So more opportunities here for Ontario to take that goose egg off the board.
It's great stuff to the outside center, Miles Donahue. And the inside center, Mielke now trying to keep it alive.
Ontario looking at the short side. Yeah, the inside ball. Good communication. Oh, unlucky.
Loose pass betrays them.
Just didn't go to hand, but good to see. That was James Shaw trying to keep the opportunity for the substitute, Ram Virdeshi. Just didn't go to hand. He had a bit of a gap there. Been one of those days for Ontario, too. Nothing.
At 38-0, I don't think it's reasonable for Ontario to think comeback, but they do need to, reduce the number of points on the board. Points for and against counts in a tournament like this. So
I think, given a really disappointing performance yesterday, talking to Coach Ferris, they really weren't in the game. Their individual assignments, a lot of missed tackles. So I think they've improved on that, especially that defensive stand early on.
Oh,
but BC have been too good, as we see there.
Oh, sparkling running by number 23, Seth Purdy. And he might go coast to coast on this one. No one will catch Seth Purdy. He'll take it into the post. Columbia with another big try to keep the scoring machine going.
Wow, Dougie, I don't think anyone will score a longer try than that this tournament or festival. From inside his own 22, he went the route, took a great short ball and changed the angle. Ontario were grabbing at air, and he showed the gas to get all the way there. Fantastic stuff from Seth Purdy. Well, there's no answer for that kind of pace and committing to a line, Dougie. That's what we call it. He got deep. He knew, he trusted his teammate to get the ball to the space where he was running into, and it was a space between two red jerseys. And at that pace, he was virtually unstoppable. And then as he came off the right foot, as the conversion goes over, that was enough.
By number 12, Matt Fraser. Score 45 for British Columbia 2-0 Ontario.
So Purdy will be happy to put that on his personal highlight reel.
Yeah.
What a run by him.
And of course, all the national coaches, the under-17 selectors, all around, all taking notes, watching these key games.
Restart by Miles Donahue by Ontario 2. And not that Ontario's not putting the tackles in, but BC's got fresh legs in a number of positions. They're on the front foot. And now that's your try scorer from earlier, 24 Cheyenne, Coda Bende.
Good tackle from Braden Doyle's on the big man, but again, space for Moray over the top. Beautiful pass.
That's the Fraser, and he'll score. No one's going to catch him before he gets across the line. Matt Fraser with the try. No consultation with the assistant referee on that side, and it is good.
British Columbia try by number 12.
Well, well done, Matt Fraser. You know, we talked about Moray. Some question he'd be picked in the side, but with touches like that, how can you not pick the guy? Cut inside, he got behind the defense, then the beautiful soft touch offload over the top. Really showing real class there.
Now Fraser's not kicking his own conversion here. He might be a little gassed, so I think
Yeah.
he's added the kicking duties out wide.
Nick,
Leave him to consider for his buddy. He's got a touchline kick here.
Nicky Moray from the far touchline in front of the Calgary clubhouse there. A hive of activity. The spiral, the rare moment in sport. Look at that! You can't coach that, Dougie.
Headed over for the conversion.
Conversion kick good by number 18, Nicky Moray.
French name, French flair.
So, do you have any bounce shots like that in your career?
Had a few have gone out as well. Often see it on the 7 circuit, but there's the
Just gone 10. BC will play it. Look at that. No one's stopping. I think that's big number 25, Rafael Espejo. Good service by Braden Tate.
oh, Moray again. These guys have got a connection. They got a feel.
It's going to be Purdy for a second. And he does the flying dive. Not sure how necessary it was, but good style points.
Well, credit Purdy. He was actually looking to offload to his mate to give him a run in, but it wasn't coming.
BC try by number
But Moray with the classic show and go. Again, with this amount of possession, it'll be hard not to pick a man with that incisive running, that ability to get in behind a defense. He's limping up to take the kick now. Maybe he's just going to be a super impact sub, Dougie. You can just completely transform a game.
I don't know if you want your place kicker limping like, he's got gout or something. Hopefully he's got the strength for it.
Yeah, Ontario really need to get a decent kickoff, get their defensive wall in place, because right now they're just scything through them, and this is, again, maybe what Coach Sam Ferris was talking about yesterday, that lack of precision on the kicking. Again, Moray with the sidewinder. So the clock seems to be going in slow motion if you're Ontario too. 16 minutes played. Another 14 to go. Well, also for BC, they'll be, he has given everyone a run here, but they'll be careful. There'll be stiffer tests to come in the tournament. There's a longer kick.
That's picked up by Braden Tate.
Finally, they get him.
Steal one there, and they got it. Read it, and have they got a chance to get? No, they've lost that ball in contact. Cheyenne Coda Bende.
Yeah, and well done from Matthew Hebert. A really good tackle there. Finally, someone wrapped up Moray. And
going
finally.
to the foot. They had an outside shot there, but
Yeah, so possession for Ontario. but a longer kick and a much better response. And Matthew Hebert.
With a man outside there, I mean, kind of running out of ideas.
I think some of the outside runners may be a bit exhausted here for BC. He's trying to keep it on the park. Yeah. So important that Ontario execute their line out here. They've worked on this in training, the time they've had. Yeah, BC have an extra man on the line out. They have pulled him out now.
Ontario
Good,
making some changes here.
good counting from some of the private school boys there. 5 and 4.
19, 16, and 20 coming up for Ontario. That's Alan Kaloran. Ryan Cutt is number 20, and number 16 is Ryan Sheriff. They got a new sheriff in town for Ontario.
See if they can keep their combination still working. They're going to the front. Oh, it's stolen. Relentless from BC. Just that alignment. Oh, selfish.
And then he immediately delivers to Fraser, who's tackled as he gets the ball. Look at the ball staying alive out to Morey now. And that's going to try. That's going to be number 4, I think, Callum Masterton. Big second row, and he legs it all the way around to make the conversion a little bit easier.
Well, I think it's fair to say, Dougie, that on the last 4 tries, the last touch before the try score has been Morey. So
BC try by number 4, Callum Masterton.
Ontario can't afford those big holes in the midfield. Just really not working hard enough to get inside.
So who is it?
The stadium announcers have some issues with the try score. It is McLaren who gets it down. So
Connor McGarry with the try. Congratulations.
get his due credit. There's a bit of a break here as this result seems to be gone for Ontario. A chance for us to thank some of the people that make it possible for all these athletes to get out here. Great to have DHL worldwide, the World Cup sponsor, but also now a Rugby Canada sponsor, putting money into these programs and into the union. Also Under Armour, the kit sponsor for our national teams, and a lot of that trickles down the sales of kit. Conversion is good. Langara Fishing Lodge, Rick Bourne and his team, been a huge supporter of Canada and fundraising, and a great opportunity to get up there and fish if you have the chance. We do have the Rugby Derby next week out in the Queen Charlotte's, in 2 weeks, which should be great fun. I'm going to be there hosting, and we've got a few players, so if you want to get up there and fish, it would be a great opportunity.
Life sucks for Gale 3 sailing. I'm dying to get up to that lodge, but I don't have that kind of cabbage. 16, Carl Madison taking that into contact. Now that is Cheyenne Kodabende. Calling his name all after.
Yeah, if we did a yards carried stat, he'd be over 100, I think. Every time he carries, just goes forward.
Now that's Rafael Espejo getting into contact. And now big click by Morey down the field. There's only one player back for Ontario, and that is a beautiful touch finding.
Wow.
But that is at least a 60-meter advantage from Morey. Nice job by him to put his team deep into Ontario half. Just what they needed, because they hadn't scored in almost a minute.
Well, that says to me I'm the complete package, coach. You know, I can run, I can set up tries, I can goal kick, spirals off the crossbar, and now I can kick it within 5 meters of the line. Absolute misery for Ontario. You got to feel for them. Hasn't gone their way today. And a few more subs coming on the field.
What does a captain say to his guys when it's going this bad? I mean,
well, the great thing is, because we're in a festival format, there's more games to play. Right, and they'll be playing in the crossover on Sunday, a team at their level. They'll also have other opportunities to play. They've had 2 of the toughest teams in the tournament to start off here. They have Ontario 1, who many people picked to win it, and this BC 2 team that think they're as good as the BC 1 team, and everything's gone their way. So it couldn't be much harder test for them. But I'm sure they'll rebound and get to play some games where they'll have some possession and be in the game.
Bit of a directionless kick by Ontario, putting themselves under pressure as BC puts the phases together again. This time that's Carl Madison.
He wasn't held, Doug, when he's on the ground, so he's able to get up and carry on. Good recognition from him.
Overlap set up on this right side. Now it's going to be Connor King for another try here. And he's jogging it in. And so another score there for British Columbia.
Who was the last guy to give the pass, Dougie, before the try score?
BC try by number 14, Connor King.
just gives me a chance to get back to thank a few more people. Gowlings is the legal counsel for Rugby Canada. The City of Langford, of course, the host of the Centre of Excellence, where many of these athletes are trying to get to come out and train full-time with Own the Podium support, the Government of Canada, because of the Olympic movement and because of Canada hopefully sending teams to Rio. A huge support out there for the men's and women's sevens program. So thank you to Bal Gosal and the Sport Ministry for recognizing that rugby and supporting rugby so we can be a force, and Canadian rugby can be a force at the Olympics and at the Pan Am Games in Toronto. We're really looking forward to being at BMO Field. Here we have Johnny Wilkinson, Schellenberger with the Johnny Wilkinson style himself, not getting the bounce off the post.
So that score will stay at 71-0. And unfortunately for Ontario, they still got another 8 minutes to ride in this one, and they've got it's got check time. They've got to start making some of those tackles and not giving up out wide.
Yeah, they do.
BC player coming off the field slowly.
I just hope that's nothing serious. It's like a bit of an ankle injury because there are more games to play.
Yeah, those are one of those ones you can ice it and keep him off his feet for a day or two. Might be
Yeah. So the choice for BC, the 22 or the re-kick. They've taken the quick one. Good recognition.
It's Brandon Schellenberger trying to make something happen, doing that cheeky little restart over the line and keeping it himself. And now that ball
Good
comes to
offload.
Carl Madison.
More good offloads. Vice wrapped up.
Big high tackle, penalties coming. Ontario head high on that, and so we'll see if they can get some 10-meter advantage off of this one. Knock on, so they'll come back for the penalty, and the hope is that there won't be a card coming from that. Just Ontario players so tired. But,
Yeah, I think it's more Miles Donahue, competitive nature. He finally got to make a hit on someone, get him clean. He was trying to finish his tackle there on Vice, but he got up high. Beautiful. Tate using his left foot this time.
Fancy.
Beautiful kick. So Tate's had a complete game here for BC. He did it at 10. He ran the traffic. He got moved into 9 at the half and has done a superb job of hitting the open men. Moray obviously got to be in there for man of the match. He's 5 tries in a row. He's been the provider.
That's your second half.
But let's not forget the question mark on the BC2 team was up front. And they've done the work. The big men have done the work. They've created the opportunities. And give credit to that front row, Cooper, Calderon, and Cusker to start us off. And also Maston and Headley grinding it away in the second row. And that was a good platform for this BC backline to run off.
Into our last 5 minutes, Ontario disrupting the pass there. And now it is Carl Madison taking on all comers from Ontario, staying on his feet, going another few meters, still driving. And now they finally bring the big boy down.
They're lining up on the blind side. The show, and then he goes. And that is Espejo.
Yeah. So good work by the big man out there. Yeah, he showed about 3 passes and kept it the whole way.
Yeah, nice for him to step up coming off the bench, Rafael Espejo.
There's a little Reese looking for you. Reese's Pieces right there. Hello, Mr. Reese Jr.
Oh, good. And that will give Moray a chance to convert. Well, the boys still got 5 minutes to go. BC gathering around for water. I think Ontario have had enough water here. I'll say, Dougie, one of the great things for the Ontario players is Moray has a ridiculous angle on this ball, and he's done it. This guy does anything.
That is amazing.
Remarkable. And the referee's blown it up, which is good game management from him as well.
Yeah, we didn't need to play that last 4 minutes. It wasn't
Yeah.
going to do anyone any good. And a great win by British Columbia, too. We
So-
have a cracker of a game going on behind us as well. 22, Ontario over Alberta 20. I think Alberta's just come back, actually.
So lots of action here, but in this match, in the under-16 tournament, was all BC2. And perhaps their skill and maybe a few more games under their belt being the difference here. And Ontario, great to see them here. Great to see all the Eastern Ontario players representing and carrying on that great tradition they have in that part of the province. But it wasn't to be. They'll look to their next games tomorrow to get better.
All right, so that'll do it for us here from Calgary Rugby Park. Back with more action at 1:30 And so we'll reset and say hello to you at that time. Thank you for Gareth Reese Cross signing off for now.